Hello card fighters, Team Deus here. I'm Ethan, behind the camera we have Brandon.
Hola.
Today we'll be talking about my favourite Shadow Paladin deck, the Claret Sword deck. I love it a lot. Now we're going to go into the profile before I get a bit carried away. As a starter, play Pedigree Knight Tigress. I think she's best suited to start in the Claret Sword deck, for reasons we'll get into a bit later. Her skill is Act, Rearguard, CB1, retire this unit, look at the top 7 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with Claret Sword Dragon in its card name from among them, put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. If you have a Vanguard with Claret Sword Dragon in its card name, draw a card. The reason I like this card is if you don't have the grade 3 in hand and you don't have any way to fix that, she can fix that. She'll go through a large portion of your deck and hopefully you can get one out. And the other reason I like it is if you do have a Claret Sword, you'll save her for the Claret Sword turn, potentially pull out another grade 3 and draw a card anyway, and if you whiff the search, you still draw a card. So either way, you're getting something for this. So yeah, love it. On the grade 3s, 4 copies of Supremacy Dragon, Claret Sword Dragon. My preferred Claret Sword. His first skill is Act, Vanguard once per turn, GB2. Choose 2 of your rearguards and retire them. This unit gets 10k crit till the end of turn. It's good if you can't stride. It did come out in the era of 8G units, so you didn't always stride. So it's good if you can't stride because you're 21k crit and, still nothing to balk at. Critical swings are always nice. Pressure for days. Second skill is Auto Vanguard CB1. During the turn that your G unit stride, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 grade 1 or less card, call it to rearguard, shuffle your deck, and that unit gets plus 2k to the end of turn. The reason I like this at 4 and I want to hit him every time is because of the stride skill. I'd rather over Revolt search for the specific target that I need, and often I might search out for like the stand trigger that counts as 2, or I might search out for a resource card or a power grade 1, as opposed to just hoping that I get something really nice. So yeah, 4 of my preferred Claret boss. Moving on to the backup grade 3, 2 Supremacy Dragon, Claret Sword Dragon, Revolt. I don't like him. I use him for the Claret Sword name, that's it. His skill is Auto Vanguard, Counterblast 1. When your G unit stride, you may pay the cost. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your deck until 2 grade 1 cards have been revealed. Call a card from among those grade 1s to rearguard and put the other into your hand and shuffle your deck. The reason, it's also worth, if there's only 1 grade 1 card, call it. So that's very much, I've thrown so many grade 1s out of my deck, I only have 1 left. In which case, you're probably going to lose. But anyway, the reason I only play this at 2 is because I'm not too fond of that skill. Yes, you plus 2, but it could be 2 nulls, it could be 2 stride fighters, you might not get the card you need. It's very inconsistent in what you get, and I'd just rather get what I need as opposed to hope I get something good. Its second skill is Auto Vanguard GB2. When this unit is attacked, choose 1 of your grade 1 rearguards and you may move it to guard circle. If you do, and you have no rearguards, this unit gets 2k until the end of turn. Again, sort of meh. It's not something that you can't pull 3 grade 3s and chuck it on the thing to build like ritual for any of your strides or anything or other units. It's literally 1 grade 1 and you have to have no rearguards to make him a 13k, and it's just I just don't like this card, to be honest. But I legitimately only play it for the Claret Sword name. So yeah.
Why not just play the 4 other ones like other decks are playing, in your opinion?
The 4 of these?
No, just 4 of normal Claret.
Why not just play 4 of these and none of these?
No backup.
Okay, that's a good point. The reason I run 6 grade 3s in total and I've tried the 4 grade 3s, is it is really hard to get a grade 3 if you're running less than 6, I've found. It's the amount of times I got grade stuck and G assist and whiff would use her and whiff. It's just having that extra 2 just means you can hit the grade 3, you can be on Claret Sword, you can stride if you need to. It just makes the deck more consistent by having another couple of grade 3s to go into. If there was a different Claret, I'd probably run it. Okay, moving on to grade 2s. 4, Drag Wizard Morfessor. Morfessor is so nice. I love it. Skill is Auto Rearguard Ritual 3. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, until the end of the battle, this unit gets 5k, and Auto Rearguard Counterblast 1. When this unit hits, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 grade 1. Call it to Rearguard. And second skill is Continuous Drop Zone. This is a grade 1. So it's good for in the drop zone to be a grade 1 because it does help with the grade 1 counts for any ritual skills you want to use. She herself is ritual 3, so see my point. She's a 14k swing. With some of the grade 1s and stuff you can put behind her, you can hit really big numbers, and generally I just like to have her, especially in Soul. You can just pop it as a grade 1, whatever. A lot of this deck is built towards making Ritual accessible because I do use Ritual a decent amount. And finally, because I only play 8 grade 2s, Morion Spear Dragon. This is the Claret Junior, really. His first skill is Continuous Deck GB1. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Claret Sword Dragon in its card name, this unit gets grade -1. So it's a grade 1 in the deck, which makes it searchable. You can get the grade 2 front row. It's really nice. Second skill is Auto Rearguard GB1. When this unit attacks a Vanguard and is boosted by a grade 1, this unit gets 5k. So like Morfessor, when it has the column built, it's a 14k swing by itself. You can hit large numbers with the grade 1s, and it's grade 1 in deck, so if that's the only thing you're missing, you can search it out on your ride skill. It's probably the one good thing about Revolt is, counting as grade 1, you can technically pull this out if you want to. But yeah, I only run 8 grade 2s because you only need to hit 1 grade 2, and generally between shuffling and your first whatever, you will hit 1 of those grade 2s. So yeah, only 8 grade 2s. On to grade 1s. There's a lot to get through. 4 Karma Collectors. Countercharging. I'm not a fan of Ezra's. I think Ezra's only works in Luard because Luard has in of itself a good countercharge engine. But yeah, I think outside of Luard, this is the one you want to go for any Shadow Paladin deck, mainly because you get the countercharge, helps with the countercharge engine, and you're going to leave it in there for the grade 1s anyway if you're using Ritual in your deck, which I happen to be, so yeah. Next, I play 4 Stride Fodders. A, you're playing 6 grade 3s, you need to stride. B, if you hit Revolt, you can correct into Claret Sword. Yeah, do I need to say more? It's a grade 3 in hand, so you can stride. Yeah. On to the next grade 1. Play 4 copies of Night Sky Eagle. Its skill is Auto GB1. When this unit is placed on Rearguard, this unit gets 4k until the end of turn. So that can be placed from the deck with Claret skill, that can be placed from your hand, it doesn't matter. It's an 11k, so you can put in the front row, get 11k swing, put in the back row, get 11k boost. So, it's a good solid grade 1 power hitter. Yeah, so just 4 of that. Next, I run 4 copies of Swift Owl. His skill is Auto Ritual 3. When this unit is placed on Rearguard from your deck, you may pay the cost. If you do, this unit gets 7k until the end of turn. So for a Soul Blast, it's a 14k grade 1 if you call it from the deck. Generally, you will call this from the deck. You can use Claret to call this and get a 14k booster. There's a strat or two which you can use to call it out. And yeah, so I use it 14k, put it in the front row, put it in the back row. It's just another power grade 1. 4 of. Next, I run, finally for my grade 1s, 3 copies of Abyss Summoner. She's your resource grade 1. Her skill is auto reguard once per turn. When your other reguard is put into the drop zone for the cost of your unit's ability, if you have a Vanguard with Claret Sword Dragon in its card name, countercharge 1, soul charge 1, and this unit gets 3k to the end of turn. So, yeah, you might use a skill to search this out and whatnot, but the main thing is the fact that for doing what this deck does and dropping anything, you get resources back and she turns into a 10k booster. Or you can put 2 of them in a column, which I have done before, and you get a 20k column after countercharging 2, soul charging 2. So, yeah, 3 of is good, it's comfortable. This deck tends to work pretty quickly. I've found you don't often get to, say, 4th stride turn in the meta we're in. You either run out of grade 1s or you're done. So, yeah, 3. Moving on to triggers. Tara Clone. Need to say more. Mainly use it for counter charging. Soul charging isn't really anything you need to do, but Soul is good, counter blast is better. So 4 of those. Then I'll play 4 Major the Rogai Arthur. Yeah. The reason you play him isn't because he's stand doesn't really matter as much. It's his skills that count as good stuff. His first skill is continuous rearguard while you are retiring your rearguards for the cost of your unit's ability. Retiring this unit may be regarded as 2 rearguards. So he counts as 2 units when you're retiring it, which really helps if you don't really want to throw away something. Like, so you don't have to call just to get a skill off, you can call this. And the second skill makes it just that much better, is when this unit is put into the drop zone from rearguard for the cost of your unit's ability, return this card to your deck and shuffle your deck. So, yeah, if during your turn you're throwing stuff around, you're retiring units, you pop this, finish off the skill, and then you put it back. It's another trigger cycled in, it's a stand trigger cycled in, and if you draw it back, then you're essentially guaranteeing that every turn you can get one of these, essentially. So yeah, I think I think Claret Sword needs 4 of these. I think it's the only deck that really needs 4 of these in Shadows, because every other deck has 2 for 1s. Next, I run 4 Taboo Mage Kafars. Name crit, put in the soul, draw a card, Vanguard gets 5k. There's not really much else to explain. So, yeah, 4. And then I run 1 copy of Revenger Air Dragon, 1 copy of Grim Revenger, 1 copy of Gravehorn Unicorn, and 1 copy of Zagbal. I run 8 crits. I run 4 individual crits. Because signing in tournaments is fun. But yeah, 8 crits.
I guess it's kind of the mind game, but...
Yeah. Mind game sort of hits too, but I don't put it in for the mind game. I put it in because I love the artwork for all of them, so why not have 1 of each? Okay, moving on to the G Zone. As this is Claret Sword, let's open up with Supremacy True Dragon, Claret Sword Helheim. I really like this card. The artwork is amazing. The skill is just hilarious. It's not a card that'll put it. It won't send you to the top of the meta. It didn't do that, but it's just fun, which is what matters most to me, anyway. So the skill is choose a face down card with the same card name as this unit from your G zone. When a Sentinel or G Guardian is placed on your opponent's guard circle, or when this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to the same number of grade 1 or less cards as the number of face-up cards in your G zone. Call them to separate rearguard and shuffle your deck. So, if one of those 3 conditions are met, you literally have like 20 cards in the deck to search for. And it does say or less, so if you're desperate, you can call a trigger if you want to. But, you know, so part of the reason you run a lot of grade 1s is for this guy, because it means you can use him second or third stride and still have cards to search for. What I like about it is the fact that he sort of puts your opponent in a position where they're on 4 or 5 damage, where they kind of have to guard, and then you can just throw multiple attacks at them. And the reason you play 3 instead of 4 is because you're never going to do this more than once. Like, you're never going to stride into him more than once. Because you might get used the skill twice in the turn, but you're never going to stride. You're never going to do that. So 3, I think, is a good number. I think 2, you wouldn't get enough use out of him because you might want to do it again. And I think 4 is too cloggy. So 3, I think, is the perfect fit for him. Just for those who are wondering. Next, and the end of my Claret Sword package, Supremacy Black Dragon or a Geyser Dragon. He's the best first turn stride Shadow Paladin has. I genuinely think that, and I think he's one of the best first turn strides in Vanguard in terms of longevity and just how good it is. Anyway, if you don't know its skill by now, wow.
What have you been under?
Yeah, this
Been relevant since set 3.
Yeah. Set 3 came out and this was like, hey, play me. It's only recent that it's become a 2 of, and that's just because of how many space, and how many different options you have. Anyway, skill is Auto Vanguard, Counter +1, Soul +1, choose a face Persona flip, retire 2. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, reveal the top 2 cards from your deck, and for each grade 1 or less card revealed, this unit gets 5k until the end of turn. Put the revealed cards into your hand. So, at its best, it's a 36k on first stride. You've just added 2 cards to hand, and you haven't even done your drive check yet. So on that turn, you've put 5 cards into your hand. Need I say more? And your G2. So, yeah. I think 2 of this in every Shadow Paladin deck is like a must.
Pretty stable.
If it's not there, I would want to know why.
Shadow's G zone is pretty toolboxy at the moment.
Oh, it's very toolboxy. And you're going to find out why. Anyway, on to Luard package. I played both the Luards. I don't play the old one, but I played both of the dragons. Anyway, so going to Dragabyss first. I love Dragabyss. Artwork is dope. Anyway, the reason I like Dragabyss in this deck is because Claret sort of does like a pseudo ritual and funnels through the grade 1s anyway, so you can get a lot of use out of this as it is. The skill is act once, Vanguard once per turn, Soul Blast 1, Persona flip, choose one of your rearguards and retire it. Search your deck for up to 2 grade 1 cards, call them to separate rearguard and shuffle your deck. If you call 2 units with a ritual ability, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. So it's not restricted to having to call in ritual grade 1s, which is why it can sort of float in really any Shadow Paladin deck if you want it. So you can search the key grade 1s, including that grade 2 that is a grade 1 in deck for Clarets. If they happen to be ritual and you call 2 Swift Owls, then you get to nuke a unit. Its second skill, which is why it's so good, is Continuous Vanguard GB3 Ritual Cross. All of your front row units get 10k for every 4 grade 1s in your drop zone. That is really easy to do. Often when I use this, I'm getting at least 20k to my front row, often 30. So it's just massive amounts of power. You can call, so you use the first skill, set up your front row or back row, whatever. You can set up your board a bit, and then you give it all massive amounts of power. So, yeah. 2 of these in this deck, it's really good. It just gives you a really strong power option, and I just love this card. I think it's so nice. And then on to the other Luard, Dragstrider Luard, who came out in set 12. Yeah. His skill is Auto Vanguard, GB2, Ritual 7, choose 2 of your rear guards and retire them. When this unit attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose any number of cards from your hand to discard them. This unit gets 3k for each card discarded. If the number of cards discarded is 2 or more until the end of that battle, this unit gets crit +1, draft +1, and your opponent cannot call grade 1 or greater cards from hand to card circle. So you have a critical quad attack that can't be perfect guarded. It's grade 0s or G guard. What I like about it is, again, like Dragobis, it's really easy to hit because you siphon through grade 1 so fast in this deck. Ritual 7 isn't hard to do at all, and he's really good for pressuring your opponent, and he's a minimum 32k because you won't do this and not pay the discard skill. So he's a minimum 32k crit with quad drive. So yeah, he's just a good option to have, and he can close out games. So yeah, that's the Luard package. Next, on to the Diablo package. Brandon loves Diablos.
Goods.
Yes, they are amazing. Anyway, so we have Dark Dragon Phantom Blaster Diablo. A card so good that when it came out, it essentially broke everything. Act Vanguard 1 once per turn. CB1, choose it and Persona flip from your G-Zone. And if the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone is 2 or more, this unit gets 10k crit. And Auto Vanguard, choose 3 of your rear guards and retire them. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent may choose 2 of his or her rear guards and retire them. If 2 rear guards were retired, your opponent cannot call cards from hand to guard circle until the end of that battle. This is powerful. People have forgotten about it since Luard, and it will close out games if your opponent isn't prepared for it. So yeah, easy 2 of. It's still as dangerous as when it came out. And then Spectral, he's your restander. His skill is Auto. His Act Vanguard once per turn, Cell Blast 1, choose a face down, any face down, turn it face up, and choose one of your rear guards to retire it. Till the end of the turn, this unit gets Auto Vanguard once per turn, GB 3, Counterblast 2, choose 2 of your rear guards and retire them. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand this unit gets drive -2. And if you have a heart card with Diablo, search your deck for a grade 1, call it to rear guard, but I don't play Diablo, so I don't get that little extra skill. But yeah, restander just adds an extra option to the deck, and it's really nice to have. So, yeah. Ultima, don't really need to. It's Ultima. I play 4 stands, so it's not really a problem for me to have stands in the deck. So it's a good finisher if you want it. It's there. On to G-Guards. I play 1 copy of Dark Dragon, Dark Veil Dragon. Skill is Auto, Cell Blast 1. When this unit is placed on Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, this unit gets 5k till the end of the battle for every 2 grade 1 cards in your drop zone. Again, this deck siphons through them really fast, so you're hitting massive shield on this. But you only play 1 because you're not really going to do it more than once. Really. So, and then, finally, 3 plot makers.
Staple.
Staple, minimum 2 staple. Is Ritual 3, 25k shield. That's it. 3 grade 1s in the drop. Any deck can do it. Literally any deck in the game can do it. So, yeah. So, that's it for the deck profile on awesome Claret Sword the King. Haha. Thank you for watching. Really hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.